what would you say to them? Let's say first for encouragement, that might be easier. And then what would you say for them? Like, what tactics would you have changed up?
Well, it all starts with them knowing their numbers, or they're not even going to know where to pivot. They don't know where the loss is. So it all starts with that. If they don't know the numbers, they got to get their numbers dialed in. They might
Profitability per builders, profitability per service.
Yeah, if you're doing both, I think it's 100% it's got to be tracked separately. It's ran totally separate. There's a lot of separate components.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Plumbing and HVAC Hustle Podcast. And today I've got Robbie Abruscati.
There you go.
From Paramount Plumbing Solutions in South Florida. How you doing, sir?
Very good. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time. We're talking about growing a plumbing business, and you've done this from scratch over the last 8 years. Did you think you were going to get to where you are? Did you think you're going to get there faster? Where are you at on this emotional journey of entrepreneurship?
Yeah, so if you just base it on a size level, which a lot of contractors make that mistake of doing, how many trucks you got on the road, you know that? We were actually bigger at one point, up to 21 associates in the business. We've strategically scaled back to 10, and actually making more profit at 10, right? Less revenue, but as they say, revenue is vanity, it's sanity. And no, things are good. Of course, as somebody that's got aggressive goals, I never feel like I'm where I should be, right? I mean, I think that's the fun part of this.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm comfortable where we're at, though. You know.
So I was asking you before we started here, just around like challenges. So we're going to talk about on this podcast, apparently, right sizing your plumbing business, getting more profitable with less revenue.
Yeah.
And we talked about challenges. People are a big challenge.
Yeah.
When you did scale back, were you able to essentially just keep most of your best guys?
Absolutely did.
So you kind of culled the herd a little bit.
Cut off the fat, if you will. And they were good people. I'm not saying, or they wouldn't even have been with us. But yeah, leaning out as we do right with fitness, it's not a bad thing when you lean out sometimes.
I'm not as good at that part,
right?
In business
come on,
business and fitness. I'm on a lean right. This is me lean.
Good. That's good. You're doing good.
Oh, thanks. That's the hard part, though, sometimes.
Right.
Getting fat and happy, that's the fun part sometimes.
If it wasn't hard, would it even really be worth it?
Yeah.
Ultimately?
Yeah.
Everybody would do it. Everybody would be lean.
Yeah.
Nice running businesses, right?
Yeah, so what are some, besides the culling of the herd, which respectfully you said they're good employees.
Yeah.
But you're keeping kind of the best of the best. What else did you have to do in that process of kind of leaning out?
So we pivoted a little bit. We were a little more project based at that point. Luxury home remodels was our forte, and we're still doing them. I'm not saying that we don't do them anymore. We're a little more selective on who we work for, and started really growing the service side, because I always tracked projects and service separately, and the margins in service, as most of us know, were significantly better, right? So I figured let's focus more on the service side of things, lean back the projects, work for certain people that we do good with. And it's been a winning recipe so far. Now we just got to scale it,
So when did you start this?
The business?
No, the leaning process.
Right after the hacks last year, actually. I got a business coach from here, and that was one of...
You like him?
Yeah.
Who's your business coach?
Yeah, Jeremy from Red Barn.
Red Barn, awesome.
Yep. So super good. He's been super good with us. So we went over numbers, and we looked at the service side. He's like, wow, you guys are doing good. And then we looked at the overall, and he was like, okay, well, that's not making a ton of sense. And it was the project. The project division was dragging down all the good we were doing in service. So
what else would you say to yourself those first couple months of the leaning process? What would you tell yourself to do a little bit different or better, knowing what you know now 1 year later? So to somebody else who's out there, who's potentially about to drop some of the builder stuff and go all in on service, what would you say to them? Let's say first for encouragement, that might be easier. And then what would you say for them? Like, what tactics would you have changed up?
Well, it all starts with them knowing their numbers, or they're not even going to know where to pivot. They don't know where the loss is. So it all starts with that. If they don't know the numbers, they got to get their numbers dialed in. They might,
Profitability per builders, profitability per service.
yeah, if you're doing both, I think it's 100% it's got to be tracked separately. It's ran totally separate. There's a lot of separate components. And then don't be afraid to do it. We like I said, the revenue was a lot higher then, and I was a little bit caught up in that, and we had more trucks and everything. It was like, wow, we're growing this big entity, but at the end of the day, we weren't bringing in what we needed to keep growing, right?
Okay, so talk to me. Okay, so this dropping the install stuff isn't easy. Then you don't have this crazy. So you can drop staff, and but you had a lot of leads and stuff coming in for service, or
yep, we
ramped to build that back.
We
up
ramped
again?
that up.
Yeah,
we ramped. I had never done any marketing prior to that. At all. It was always. I got to over 3 million.
Bold move.
Grassroots.
Yeah.
And I would walk and hand flyers out on doors. I would guerrilla marketing.
Let's go.
Yeah, all the
you got to start with that.
You got to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
I
did the same thing when I started my business, just walking around and talking to people in my area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I decided to go in business, I had no plan. I had no knowledge. I just literally didn't have a job that was about 160 grand a year overnight. And my wife was like, what the hell are we going to do? And I would go to Home Depot and I would act like I was looking for stuff. This is real. And then I would hear the conversation they're having. I'm like, I can help you. No, here's what you need. You mind if I help? And the Home Depot guy was like, no, you're good here. And he'd walk away. And then I talked to him for a minute. And then they'd be like, are you a plumber? I'm like, yeah, I do plumbing, this and that. They'd be like, you just want to come help me with it or whatever? And I'd be like, yeah, I'm busy right now. I had nothing going on. So, but I didn't want to be like, yeah, that was actually what I was like,
Robbie, this is brilliant. That's amazing.
It was, where is our food going to come? That was and I got to be honest, that was exciting.
Oh yeah.
Going from the big corporation to I'm in my wife's Honda Pilot. I mean, it was exciting times. I was.
Feels like you're falling though a little bit. It's kind of a jump out of a plane almost.
Yeah. What's the song? Falling feels like flying. Falling feels like flying till you hit the ground.
Oh shit! A different song. Yeah, exactly.
It feels like flying.
But the ground is coming when you become an entrepreneur. To anyone who has it twisted, when you become an entrepreneur, the ground is coming.
Oh yeah.
Immediately,
embrace
as soon
the
as you jump. I mean, and unless you have a giant nugget of, and I mean, even I think I had 20K when I started.
Right. Yeah.
And that is going away very quickly.
Many homes suffer from inefficient HVAC systems due to leaky ducts, leading to uneven room temps, lost airflow, and higher energy costs. AeroSeal's innovative sealant technology targets and repairs leaks, improving airflow and efficiency. Increase your customer satisfaction, increase sales, and offer a unique market advantage. Become a leader in HVAC efficiency. AeroSeal.com.
So I was so ignorant that we had a ton of equity in the house. I still live in my original house, never moved. And I had all this equity built up in it. So I just told my wife, it's fine. I'm going to pull the equity out. We're going to take our money. We're going to do our thing. She's like, she was supporting me. So I go to the bank and I'm filling out the thing and they're like, hey, cool. And they're like, all right, so put down your information. Where do you work? And I'm like, I don't have a job right now, but I'm going to, and they're like, I couldn't touch my own money. That was another moment of wait.
Yeah.
This guy just fired me. It changed my life. The bank, I can't even get the equity I had out of my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So damn.
So if anybody's going to do it, they're going to quit their job. Get the line on the house first and then quit your job.
There you go.
And then go for it.
Only the most, that is actually.
That would have been a good decision.
So there's these moments, right? 8 years ago with the jumping out of the plane. And then it's crazy. After 7 years, you realize, hey, help's not coming.
Mm-hmm.
I actually need to figure out how to make money on this thing besides just money's flowing through.
Yep.
Because we think we take pride in that. I think we all do that to some degree. And plus you're living okay kind of on the business, but at the end of the day, if you're not creating profit, it's not a real business.
Yeah, and you don't have nothing to sell at the end, right? Isn't that the ultimate goal? We all know these guys that are great plumbers and they run a great business, they take care of their employees and all those things, but at the end of the day, I mean, you got to have an exit plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would think. Or you're just going to have something that, It can work, but that wasn't what
Yeah.
I was looking for. I was looking to.
Well, this podcast is for those guys that know that they probably are going to exit at some point.
Yeah.
I think that, like, other than that, no offense, family business, it's stressful too, man.
Yeah.
It's all stressful.
Yeah, we did
right?
that. We did that. Had my nephew on, and we went through that, which is a good thing. I love the kid. We're buds still,
But like the past,
family dynamics unique.
the past,
My wife works in the business with me. That's a unique layer.
I got that too.
Yeah.
We can talk about. We can have a little bit of a support,
a whole nother
support
podcast.
session. Yeah, after that, I actually really like it right now, but it's different when it's going really well versus when it's a little rougher.
Oh yeah,
right. So
everything's heightened.
we've
Both
had
sides of it's heightened.
moments in those moments, and you compete a little bit. Like I compete. Like that's the thing my therapist told me not to do anymore is competing with my wife.
Right.
Oh, who's spending more time? Actually, I spent 70 hours a week. And you only spent 40? And then you'd be like, and she's like, yeah, I've been doing your laundry, brother.
Yeah. Oh, I hope my wife's going to see this. Yeah, that's the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I come home and I do all this. And, okay, good. You know what? Valid point.
Yeah. You're never going to win that, even if you win that. So just don't worry about it.
Yeah. No,
And we all want to have great marriages more than, it's both, but great marriage is like pretty important.
Yeah.
Especially if they work.
For sure. Absolutely.
But in general, I want to talk more about this last year.
Yeah.
So giving a few more tips to that person who's in the first couple months, like what would you tell yourself at that point? Like maybe some mistakes you made on the lean out that like they could avoid, things that you did really well that you would suggest? Could be straight from your business coach. He's getting a little commercial here anyway. So Red Barn.
I would say just don't hold back, man. Just go.
Yeah.
Go for it. Go all in. If you're gonna do it, go all in. Don't we're gonna lean out, but then and get scared because there's the revenue slows down, right? You're literally making decisions with less revenue coming in, and if you start looking at that, you gotta have a plan, right? Or else you're gonna plan to fail, right? That's the old saying. But I would say if you're gonna do it, just go all in and look at all those areas where you can lean out, and if the numbers are there, believe the numbers, and that's why it's all based on numbers. It's got to be based on numbers, not emotion.
Anything else like when you were besides the thinning of the herd, selling vans, trucks?
No, we got rid of a couple. What we did is we updated the fleet.
Okay.
Right. So we had the Ram Pro Masters, not to get into that, whatever. And we went to the Ford Transit. So we kind of updated the fleet, a part of this process as well. Got rid of some,
Yeah, I'm not a plumber, but
yeah.
people.
They're going to know that. They're going to be like,
They're gonna like
that
that.
was a good
Ooh,
decision.
okay, yeah.
That was a good decision.
Hell yeah.
But yeah. So we did get rid of some units. Yeah, for sure. Couple office staff, which are good people, still friends to this day. But it's all part of it.
What
That's
positions got trimmed?
the project manager.
Okay.
Right. We weren't doing as
So
many
you had
projects.
how many project managers?
I had one project manager who
He just trimmed.
did estimating with me, office personnel up front.
And that was related to the builder side.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
This is all good info.
Yeah.
When you by the way, this is like a huge important option for a lot of people right now. Just I did an office tour with another company who just did this. Huge for their business. I think they went from like 14 down to like 7 or something like that. 14 million down to 7. So, but yet doing better.
Yeah.
It's just interesting how that works. It's crazy how long this lesson takes because everyone says this lesson constantly. You know what I mean? Like this is like the most common thing on podcasts and stuff like that, but it's like so crucial.
In our trade, I can only speak plumbing. I don't do electrical, HVAC. I imagine it's the same. Though somebody will give you projects.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure, you're bidding on them, but there was so much work going on. They were like, here, just take this project, whatever.
Yeah.
So you can grow quickly doing that. Service, you got to be detailed. You got to know, you got to grow that thing properly, or else you're not really going to have a successful service company. There's a lot more work, a lot more effort, energy that goes into growing a service company that's running like a well-oiled machine. There's a lot of processes, procedures, let's be honest. Construction, did a job, get the job, make a schedule of values on how you're going to bill it, and get somebody out there to do it and order some material. It's a totally different animal. Service is a lot more effort and energy. And I think a lot of people don't want to, unfortunately, put in that effort and energy. But I think that's where you get the returns. That's why you get the returns.
So you were already doing some service.
Yeah.
But you were scaling down the builder side. Did you make any big moves to kind of increase the level? Like, it sounds like it was effort. Right.
For service?
What were the efforts, like, specifically? Were there any additional hires? Were there any, like, you hired a marketing agency, different things like that? What else did you do to kind of push in on the service side?
So I brought somebody in as a service manager to kind of assist me with that side of things, tech support, things of that nature. We started putting all the SOPs in place. I didn't have a SOP, a standard operating procedure.
Physical documents?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a little before AI. So now they've become a lot easier to make. So we got all that stuff and just really got dialed. Started doing service tech meetings and giving guys incentives above and beyond their pay. We started offering, paid vacations and things to the service technicians that, you weren't doing before, above and beyond. Incentivizing, right?
Automate your communication with ProLine, the only communication-first CRM for roofers. Because when you fix your communication, you'll sell more jobs.
We had 200% growth, and I attribute that to ProLine.
But just with one automation, I was able to get 25 Google reviews.
ProLine's not going to win the beauty pageant, but it will save your Saturday.
Can you talk to me about your incentive structures, if you don't mind? So specifics.
Okay.
Are you willing to share?
Yeah. So we're union contractors, so they all have a CBA that they work under. So there's a base pay that we got to get. We can't do 100% commission. We give them incentives above and beyond, all paid holidays. They get health, vision, dental for them and their whole family. They get review incentives, and we really haven't started doing the KPIs, which is something I'm taking from this. We're 100% growing aggressive on the KPIs moving forward, and incentivizing based on those.
Shout out Plumbing Hacks. We're at the event.
That and the Greens, Alicia and Peter Green. It was
fire.
It was awesome. It was awesome. We got a ton.
Very
so
smart.
we're taking that back, and we need to do it again. Work, energy, effort to start tracking that and implementing that, which I'm looking forward to, honestly.
Yeah.
Sure, my guys are going to be too.
Yeah. It is good to have people, right? Because, like, as a leader, as an owner of a business, this is what I'm realizing now, and getting bigger. I'm like thinking about, you have to be able to be the leader. It's gonna all sound super simple, but I think it's good. You have to be willing to be the executive. The person the person pulling the trigger, the person making the decision, the person that has actual good decisions. And it's actually really ridiculously important that they're good decisions. Like, if you're leaning out, that was an incredibly important decision, but no one would have told you that on your team.
Right. Willing to make the hard decisions is the leader. Right? And it's not always the right one.
Yeah.
I've grown a little bit. I've been a knee-jerk decision guy in the past, but I'll make a decision and I'll commit to it. And sometimes it's not the right one. But the leader, he gets tasked with that, or they get tasked with that.
And you have to then, if you have people to do it, then you can make better decisions. Because I remember, when I was early, I've got 5 people. If I made a decision, sometimes it's me doing the thing. And actually, for a long time, that was the case, right? But then as you get people, it's good. And I think this with my team too. I'm like, it's good if you start to have a person or other people to help you with something, because if you separate the person doing the work from the person making the decision, sometimes you make better decisions. Because there's so much more. Because if I'm making more work,
absolutely,
I don't want to make it so I have to do another 10 hours a week if I want to have this good thing for our business.
Even though there's going to be a good result at the end, maybe you don't have that 10 hours, and that's an important thing. That's when you got to have other people involved. That's a big thing that so right now, the wife and I were working on her to start eventually working remotely, right? She's going to be doing 100% bookkeeping, which she thrives at. She's amazing at. But the managing the office, it wasn't her forte. She didn't really want to be that person. And she was doing permitting. She was doing accounts payable, accounts receivable. She did everything. Yeah. Everything in the office. So she's been...
By the way, same with my wife.
Yeah. She's been the real hero this whole way through, I got to be honest.
Yeah. It's crazy how many jobs they take on, just miscellaneous.
Yeah. Well, you can't brag about being a good multitasker and then and then complain about it.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. 100%.
So
any other like challenges? Just we'll kind of wrap it up with this. It's kind of a short podcast, but any other challenges to the lean out that you'd want people to anticipate if they're trying to do the same thing? Hard things. I mean, you obviously mentioned a few of them.
It's change. Yeah. It's going to be change. There's going to be a big change in the business. I mean, that's hard. Change is hard. Mm-hmm. Right? That's why most people avoid it, right? So you're going to be coming out of your comfort zone, especially if you're going more service, less projects. I mean, that's a whole different structure like we talked about. So just be ready for change, willing to accept change. But I think, kind of like we were talking about fitness earlier, like I think when you start seeing the results, then it's like, okay, you start seeing the needle move. You're like, all right, this was the good decision, and how can we do more of this and more of that direction?
Give them a little like prophecy. If you do this in the future, try to look to what you do. Okay. How's your bank account doing? Is it good? Is it better?
Way better.
Okay, tell them the future if they do this.
More profit. That's simple enough. I don't know the numbers. I mean, ultimately, isn't that what we're doing this for? You got to know your numbers. That's
but having more personal income and profit
absolutely
is well worth the pain, probably.
It absolutely is.
Because otherwise, what has this all been for?
Exactly. At that point, if you don't have that, you just own a job. Right? You're not really owning a business that's going to set it up to where you could eventually step back and have other people potentially running it with your slight involvement and do the things, right? Go on the trips, the vacations with the family, the things that you enjoy. Maybe step away at one point. It's have something you can sell,
So this is an intentional lean out from 20 to 10 around the
21
to 10, and now a slow scale up on the service.
Yep.
And you'd recommend it based on your experience?
Yeah. I'd like to be scaling a little quicker, back up. But I don't, I'm fine with where we're at right now. We just brought on office manager and some things which we never had in the past. Like I said, to take that relief off my wife. And me. I've been sending everything I learned here. I'm sending in, hey, do me some research on this. Hey, look into the next star. Start looking into it for me. Set up a meeting,
Yep.
That used to be me, having to go back and do research. And guess what? When you leave from here, you're going to go back to work and you're going to have a lot on your plate. So now having somebody else, like you said, somebody else do that research for you, at least in the beginning stages, is huge.
Do your plumbers sell, or do you have separate salespeople, plumber?
No, we don't have that structure where, like Comfort Advisor or something. But they go out and sell. And no, the plumber sells.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Well, thinking about Jeff, my dude who was just on the podcast, and Jeff Cronin, he sold $8 million in 1 year.
Nice.
It's basically the
so he's a tech?
Yeah. No. He's a salesman.
Got it. Okay. Yeah.
And then he has I
think you could do that.
Yeah. It is.
That's huge.
Still insane.
Amazing. That's
still insane. But he's coaching on sales stuff. So I'm just going to be asking people do you have salesmen? Because he's a good person to talk to. So I'm just, as people are out of the podcast, I'm just going to tell him about him because he's a very smart guy.
Yeah.
Basically insane. That number is ridiculous. So I always like to find the ridiculous guy.
Yeah. No, that's huge numbers. That's a huge number. Yeah, back in the day when someone broke $1 million, that was like, oh my God.
Yeah. It's still,
and that was HVAC. That was like, whoa, $1 million. And then I've heard, there's people been up to 10 and stuff. But it's opportunities. And of course, salesmen. These are professional salesmen at that point, right? Which is something we're bringing back. We need to focus more on this. We're going to make.
You just say in the next few years, one or two of those guys that are very good at. Because it is just a little bit different with plumbers, you know,
course.
like, and then it allows people to actually like specialize. Because if I don't want to, because I actually used to have everyone that did the work in my company. I know it's not the same as digital marketing or whatever, but I used to have all the people that did the work sell. And then they don't, if they don't really like it. And it is a job. It is work.
So the simplest way, shout out to my buddy Tim Hammock, Paul Bunyan Plumbing, Heating, Drains.
Minnesota?
Yep, Minnesota.
Hell yeah.
Yep, great.
we
One
talked
of my best friends.
Nice.
Take the sale out of it.
Yeah.
Not selling, educating, and providing options.
Yes.
100. That's so much easier.
Yes.
Even when you get up into a speech or whatever, you're just up there educating.
Yeah.
I'm not selling you a product. I'm educating you on this product, what it can do for you, and giving you the options, right?
Yeah.
The 3 options we're going to give you on this call, there's different monetary commitments associated with them, right? But if you just educate and provide options, and people buy from that, right? Because it's, you're not trying to sell me, it's just educating me.
I agree 100%. There's just people that are better at that.
Yeah, better educating.
They're better at educating.
We've all had
Really good at
teachers.
educating. There's such communication.
Yeah.
You know, I'm guessing some plumbers don't want to learn
Yeah.
the communication side as much.
Right,
Because they're doing fucking hard work.
right, the body language, the tweaking, the way you preempt things, tone and inflection.
Yeah.
They don't want to, but that's all stuff that'll benefit you in life. They learn it, you know,
Absolutely.
let alone on a job.
Last thing on this is just, I believe that when you allow that specialization, when as appropriate, it makes it easier to attract people.
Yeah.
Because they know their own, you know what I mean? The tighter you make the roles, like the easier it is to get that people.
Yeah, more defined.
Yeah, but I mean, it's all phases, and I'm also learning from you. When you're training my last question, when you're training your plumbers to offer those options and to educate, what's something you've found that's helpful to allow them to do that easier and better?
So one of the, and it's going to sound so, you know, everybody's needs, I think I've heard this for a long time. Treat that person as if it was your grandmother, somebody else, someone you'd want someone else to treat your grandmother. Right? So don't give options that are outlandish for things they don't need. Right? Don't sell something they don't need ever, and guide them in the right direction. Maybe some of those things we make more money on, but if, you know, and you look at the whole thing, be a human, be a good human, you know, when you're doing that, I think helps tremendously.
Absolutely. All right, Robbie, thank you for being on.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me.
What's the web address for your company so people can check it out?
www.paramountplumbingservices.com.
ParamountPlumbingServices.com. Check them out, South Florida.
Yep.
Robbie, really appreciate you sharing your wisdom. I think it's going to help some people.
Awesome. I hope it does.
I think this is a really important topic. And I really appreciate everyone for watching. Podcast is put on by hookagency.com. Hook Agency all over social. And see you on the next one. Bye.